Every Ponzi scheme has two key requirements. In Colombia, they are going to hike the wages to attempt to keep pace with the inflation that they created by all of this money printing. You cannot fix a too much debt problem with even more debt. We're going to talk a little bit about Colombia today because when I show you these things, I'm showing you because it's coming to a theater near you. This is how governments operate. They create a problem and then they try and solve that problem, and then that creates another problem. That's what they call unintended consequences. None of this would even be necessary on a sound money system. But that's not what we're on right now. We got to work together to make it so again. But what you're looking at here on this chart is the CPI, Consumer Price Index of Colombia. Now, people are finding that it's rather unaffordable. Have you heard that here? I mean, here we go. Economic fear running deep Times poll says, yeah, this is happening all around the world. So what's the solution? And we've seen it in states, but in Colombia, they are going to hike the wages, and by what? 23%. 23% to attempt to keep pace with the inflation that they created by all of this money printing. So now they're just going to pay them more of the currency to offset the inflation, except it doesn't really work like that, because in Colombia they have something, the price controls, that housing is tied to wages. Let me show you what I mean. I think it's interesting. Currently, an increase in the legal wage automatically raises the permitted value of these homes. So the home price is tied directly to the wages. They've just increased the wages by 23% officially to help offset all the inflation that these people are dealing with. And what does that mean for their real estate market? Amid expectations that the increase in the minimum wage would raise the cost of the social interest housing, the government presented a draft seeking to limit how the prices of these properties are adjusted. You see what I mean? They create a problem, they come up with some kind of not thought through solution that has a ripple or domino effect into all other asset prices, and they're not alone in that. So let's see how the dollar has responded. Well, the dollar has dropped against the Colombian currency. Spot silver, that's gone up quite nicely. Spot gold, that's gone up quite nicely. But look at the end here, right? And take a look. Spot silver and spot gold are spiking everywhere in the world. The reason why this is so significant and the reason why I'm talking to you about it today is because you cannot fix a too much debt problem with even more debt. And so when you see the prices spiking on the spot, on the contract markets, understand that Wall Street can create as much fictional gold and silver as they want to. These prices should be way suppressed from where they are, and the fact that it's spiking all around the world is telling you that the world is losing trust pretty rapidly in the US dollar, but in their own systems. This loss of confidence is everything, because every Ponzi scheme has two key requirements. Number one, you gotta have that confidence, period, end of discussion. The public must have confidence in the governments, in the central banks, and in the monetary system. And number two, you have to have new money. And new money does what? Creates more inflation. And it puts us into a doom loop. And there's no place that you can go to escape other than physical gold, physical silver in your possession. Because if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And all you're doing is, whether you realize it or not, you are agreeing to central bank and government abuse. I say, let's stop that. Let's stop that. So what do we need to do? We need to become as independent and self-sufficient as we possibly can. And that goes back to the mantra. And that goes back to community. Food, water, energy, security, barterability, wealth preservation, community, and shelter. These are all the things that we need to lead a reasonable standard of living. Because if you're dependent, I'll move that stuff. If you're dependent on this crap, if you're dependent on governments and central banks, this is all they do. And that is not for your benefit. That's for their benefit. Why do we have a K-shaped economy? Because of what I just did. All that money printing. Winners and losers are chosen. How about we take our power back? We can do it very simply, very peacefully and quietly, just by converting the garbage fiat that they keep spitting out into physical gold and silver that you hold. Become your own central banker. Surround yourself with people that have skills that you don't have. They know how to grow food. They know how to store water. Maybe you have those skills. You'll find the community that can support each other with a variety of tools and skill sets that you have. You want to get through this and be in a better position on the other side? Well, you need sound money to do that, because when one system dies, another one's born. But sound money, gold and silver, physical gold and silver in your possession, that's your bridge and your anchor. Get it done. What in the world are you waiting for? Give us a call. We'll help you know, how much gold and silver do I need to sustain my standard of living, to protect the fiat money wealth I've managed to accumulate, to pay off my fixed rate debt, to position into new income producing assets that I can't outlive, and to leave a legacy for your family. A sound money legacy that levels the playing field and prohibits that K-shaped economy. It puts the power back in the people's hands. And that is what I strongly recommend for all of us. And I know that together we can do this. And until next we meet, please be safe out there. Bye-bye.